Hello and welcome to It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Joining me today is Jamie Saleh, who is a motivational speaker and also a Olympic gold medalist in figure skating. Thanks for joining us today, Jamie.
Thanks, Mario. Happy to be here.
Okay, well, COVID is obviously on everybody's minds these days. Stress levels are up, anxiety, depression, and all that. Just give me a sense of what you feel is the mood out there of people these days that you talk to and see in their travels.
Well, I think the biggest thing that most people are experiencing is they've had enough. This has been 10 months now of being not completely in isolation, but just being limited in their movement and what is normal for them. I know people that just feel that they don't really want to listen to the guidelines and they're just going to behave the way they want to behave, which is, also contributing to why we are in the situation we're in. I mean, there's arguments on everything, of course, of how government is handling this and what we should be doing and what we could be doing. But in general, for us, I can only speak for my family and we just are constantly, we always look for the good in this, and we're focused on gratitude. And when we wake up every day, of course, we feel limited as well. But when we feel these feelings, we start focusing on what we do have and what we can do versus what we can't have and what we can't do. Because that's not going to change right now. And even with the vaccine, it's not necessarily things aren't going to shift immediately. So we just choose to change our thinking.
So tell me, when you look at things like that, like gratitude, and it's something I've read a lot about as well, that, it's a very important virtue and quality to have. This is something that, yes, it's something that some people might have just naturally, but it's really becomes a conscious choice, doesn't it? Like you choose to do it, right?
Like anything, you decide for it. And I mean, it's not in our nature. Our brains are all about survival. So naturally, we're going to want to not be in isolation. We're social beings. We're going to want to be around people. We're going to want to hug. We're going to want to do those things. So you're right. It's not a natural thing to wake up and go, oh, I'm so grateful that I can't go anywhere today. But again, it's just making a decision that I want to find the lessons or the good in this. And truthfully, like for me, this has been one of probably the best years for me, growth and transformation. I've gone through a lot this year. But again, I made that decision back in the spring that I wasn't going to feel sorry for myself and, basically go against what they're telling us to do. I was just going to, be grateful that I can do certain things. And I mean, we have a granddaughter now. My husband's oldest son had a baby, and we're grateful even that we have phones that we can do FaceTime on, and computers that we can do Skype or Zoom calls on. Before, when I was growing up, we didn't have any of that. So imagine what our grandparents were going through back then if they would have gone through a pandemic. So we're finding the good in everything that we're doing every day, instead of going, oh, this is terrible and oh my gosh, I can't. We're just going, what can we do? And I think that really, really helps. But again, you're right, Mario. It really is a decision and a choice. You have two ways to go here. You can see the bad, or you can find the good.
Yeah. Now, as a former athlete and obviously an athlete performing at a high level, you learn to become resilient, right?
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about what it means to be resilient and why it's important in these times?
Well, for me, resilience is really like what I'm just talking about is we're all going to go through challenging times and struggles and obstacles and things in our life. Some are worse than others in the sense of like how it impacts you and how it makes you feel. And as an athlete, I went through a lot of different struggles and barriers and things, but resilience was really telling myself not to give up, that my ultimate dream was, I knew what I wanted. I knew what the outcome was. And I knew that it would just take time to get through that difficult thing I was going through, but it would pass, like everything does eventually. And it was a mindset. It was all a mindset. And so that's the same thing today for us. It's a mindset today. You wake up, you decide that you are going to find something good in today. You're going to focus on all the things that that you do have, that you can do, and you have fun with that. And
Yeah.
that's what it is an athlete. Sometimes when I remember being injured, my trainer would say to me, okay, we're going to focus on things that we wouldn't normally do when you're not injured. And I would be like, oh gosh, what am I going to have to do now? But it would really help me with visualization, or it would help me with eye-hand coordination, all kinds of things. But instead of feeling sorry for myself and staying at home and doing nothing, I always found something to do that would help make me a better athlete. So it's a combination of everything, right? It's definitely comes down to mindset, and knowing that the power that's inside of us is far greater than any condition or any circumstance we will ever go through. So
Mhm.
telling yourself that every single day, know that you can get through this. You can get through this. We have that inside of us. There's no special book. There's no special uh, tools or anything out there besides staying positive and knowing that, keeping that ultimate dream in your mind. Like I always tell my clients, go back to your vision. What did you write in your vision? Right?
Mm.
Remind yourself of where you're going and just take action today. And that action step might be small, but just take action, some kind of action today. Keep going.
Yeah. It reminds me of, keep going, BDC, the Business Development Bank of Canada had a commercial on, for a while there. That was, song, keep moving on, keep moving on. And that's so true. I wanted to ask you about, obviously, support is huge in times of stress and mental, health issues, etc. The support of family, support of friends, support of, say, organizations, etc., is critical. We're the irony here, of course, is that we're living in a time of isolation, right, because of COVID. Can you tell me just a little bit from your perspective how important support is and how to find it, I guess, that's outside of your own family, like obviously that you're living with, right?
Right. Well, I believe that there's so many wonderful groups out there that people can connect with that don't necessarily cost money to reach out to. But I do know there's lots of therapists. I know my therapist is really busy. And I'm still seeing her once a month myself, just to stay in check and focus on different things. We're working on belief system and all kinds of other issues that show up in times like this, because we're challenged in different ways. And those old beliefs start showing up, telling you that you're not good enough, you're not worthy. And so there's always that. But I think it's really important to connect with people regularly. I mean, we tend to kind of hunker down when we're isolated and think, you don't need to talk to people. But I think it's important to schedule phone calls with people, or FaceTime meetings with people, and reach out to somebody. Because, the other thing too, you might not be feeling bad, but someone else might be, and having that connection with somebody might really just change their week, and you don't know that. And somebody, especially if it's maybe alone. I know I've got a couple friends personally myself, and I do a check-in every other day. Every 2 days I check in, just a text, how are you doing?
Mm.
Sometimes we get on a phone call, sometimes we get on a Zoom call, but it's just to, make sure that there's a dialogue going on of like how they're feeling. It's really important. And you know what? We have our bad days too, where we wake up and we just feel like, come on, you just wanna like break through. But again, the people that you're talking with, hopefully are, helping you as well. You want to surround yourself with people who bring you up, not bring you down. And I think it's really important to stay away from, as much as we're glued to the news and we want to know, we want to be informed and things, try to turn off the news as much as possible too, because there's a lot of negativity there, and it actually gets people all riled up and really excited about things that you don't necessarily have to get excited about. We have no control over what's happening out there right now, but we can control how we feel and how we behave and how we think. So surround yourself with positive people too, who want to talk about the future and possibilities and opportunities down the road, not about only COVID and only, about people per se.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot for joining us today, Jamie.
Yeah, of course. It was always a pleasure with you, Mario. Thank you for inviting me again.
Okay, super. That was Jamie Saleh, who was a motivational speaker and former Olympian, Olympic gold medalist in figure skating. This has been It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Thanks for joining us today.